Got it?
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys. Today we're going to be talking about I had a request, and they wanted to know because they get a little confused about it. But before I explain this, the main thing you've got to remember yourself is that the head is round. Many times on the cut, you may be thinking you're going vertical, you may be thinking you're going horizontal. But 9 times out of 10, it has to do with 2 other things: elevation and it's diagonal, because the head is round. But what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to give you the whys, and we're going to talk about results when you do it. There is one more thing that I want to show you about the zero. I did the zero the other day. Did the zero haircut after we covered diagramming and all of that. That was this one here. But I want to show you something. I want to show you something about the choices we make in this. Remember, I told you have the client stand up when you do this cut? It's so important that you have them stand up, and that's because of the cutting angle. And the cutting angle should not be primary, it should be secondary. And so often, you see how this stays down and looks pretty full? I mean, she's got a natural wave, we cut it dry. All right, so she's got a slight elevation here. That's more because of the curve of the hair. But I'm going to wet her down, and I'm going to show you something. I'm going to part her off first again where? At the parietal line, and I'm going to get as close as I can. I saw in the video that I was like way down here. Okay, where's the parietal? Stop moving, Nellie. Okay, the parietal line is right here. Just a scotch more, if you want to be exact. And I guess since I'm teaching this, I should be a little bit more exact instead of messing around with it, just quickly doing it. All right, so I'm parting it off at the parietal line, and you can see right there we're pretty close. No, a little bit lower here, but it's fine. Just trust me on that. That little bit of a line is not going to change the overall fall of the hair. We're going to section off the flat part of the head, the temporal. Section off this side, and we're taking it right to the crest. When we section off the temporal, we take it right to that crest line. See it? Right there. So right where it starts curving around. That vertical crest, not the horizontal crest. Then we're going to do tip of the ear to tip of the ear so we can hit certainly exact center occipital right there. And then we're going to section out the nape, which is pretty simple once you get used to doing it. All right, we've got this all sectioned up. And I find that when people, you saw that it was laying down. I find that when stylists bend over to do the cut, they tend to use the primary position in the cutting. Oh, before I go on, how was your attention span? Do you guys like get lost in the middle if I start talking about something else? All right, let me do this cut first. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you on this. Okay, I have found, oh darn it, I wanted another comb, but I guess I'll get this one. Many times, the stylist, when they're doing the zero elevation, remember I did it with the secondary position. Client stands up, secondary position. Many times they take it, they flip it, and then they do primary. And I want you to see, even as I travel around, what happens, and this is horizontal cutting. It's in the position that I'm holding the shear that is causing this. And I really wonder if I should just do half of it so you can see it. Do you see that flipping out? Do you see this going under? That's your why. When you're doing it with the primary position and curling it up, you're creating an ever so slight angle. The angle is on the bottom. In other words, here's your hair shaft. The angle is on the bottom. Shorter moves longer, it's going to elevate it out. Those are the minute details about hair cutting. Now watch what happens as I travel around to do this. Now you saw that the other one, when I did it secondary position instead of primary, it laid down. Now it's going to start flipping out. Don't flip out on me now, but she will. And then what ends up happening with that is you have to take longer to blow dry. So what is your time in this industry? Your time is money. And when you take, now look at that, see how that's still going down? As soon as I bring it out, cut it in the primary position instead of the secondary, it starts flipping up. Because you think that you could see it, and you're cutting a 0, but it's flipping out. So this is a horizontal cut. However, it's the angle that I'm holding it in. And you that asked the question, that may be your variable that's causing your problems. So I'm going to take it down one more here. I'm just going to split this in half. So I want to wet it. I want to do it wet. All right, so now I just have my guide. We know that we have a guide. Now what should I have done at first? I should have leaned her forward so that we get more volume, and I can go ahead and do that up until this area, but I'm just going to bring her out. You're going to see that it's going to flip out even more. Look at that. That's the strength in numbers. And when you're cutting it in that form, that's strength in numbers, pulling that out, as opposed to cutting it in this form where it stays down. These are the two variables. Watch how you're holding it. If it's confusing for you, that could be the reason that it's confusing. It's not the horizontal cut, it's the angle of the cut. How are you holding it? So I'm going to bring it out again. There you go, it flips right out. Because shorter moves longer, we're actually forcing it to do that. And all that's going to do, I'm going to just come over here. See it? See how I curled it around my fingers? That's how you do it. You're taking it, you're rolling it around your fingers, and then you're cutting, creating that slight edge on the bottom. And look at how that is flipping out. Now, the girl that cut my hair, do you guys notice how it flips out in the back? That's what she does too. Did I tell her anything? No, because, yeah, you know, leave her alone. So what? I can live with it. But, and especially, you know, those of you that work in a salon, you know, just be quiet, all right? If they want to learn, they're going to ask you. All right. So that's the variable. You saw that the position that you're using, is it palm out or is it palm down? Is it primary or is it secondary? All right, it's not extended, we know that. So what's taking it is we're flipping it up, taking it off, causing that to flip out. And those are just little clue factors about cutting hair. Do you want it to lay hard and down, or do you want it to lay flipped out? Because what? This is a bob haircut. It's not supposed to flip out. Oh, she's got a few little down here. Now I'm going to bring her up and blend. See, if you know what to do next, you automatically just go to it. So, again, the head is round. We have that little indentation there. That's why you lean her forward. But the angle of how you're holding your shear is a big factor. I'm not going to cut it as short, but I want you to see. Secondary position, stays down. Stays down. Take it over to primary position. Flips right out. There you go. it's going to flip out. If she wants it to cup under, you have to take it down into that secondary position, not primary, and especially not rolling it around, all right? You've got to bring it straight down, cut it straight across, and it stays down. Look at just that little bit that I did right there. Just, it stays down, just that one little notch. So, those are they're not secrets to hair cutting. It all comes down to what do you know about hair cutting and what do you know about your choices. Okay, let me lock this up so she quits dancing on me. All right, so I'm going to take it now and wet her down here. Okay, and again, bringing it up just because I want to be able to see it. Have her stand up. They don't care if they stand up. You're on your feet all day. They should stand up, don't you think? So, and then you can have her sit down when when you measure it and all that stuff. But you can see, primary position, it's just flipping out. Now, do you want movement? Yeah. That would work for movement if they don't want a really hard line, if they don't want it to look heavy. So, does it look a little bit more movable? It does a little bit more. I got some down here that I'm going to cut. You can see them down on the lower nape. And remember, I told you, you've got to lean her forward, or else you're going to have that's going to show up. Okay, so now we just clean it up. And instead of blending now, I am going to continue rolling it like I was. So you can see that it will continue to flip out. That's horizontal cutting. However, the angle that you have it in is the reason, if you want to know why is this flipping out, why can't I get it to lay down? I think what's funny, sometimes I'll also see stylists thinking, well, okay, maybe I'll force it down with the texture shear. Then they pick up the texture shear and do the same thing, and then it gets a little bit worse. No. You have to hold it down. So look at the difference in that from what we had on the diagramming class. I mean, it's all just flipping out. And I've got the hair wet. That doesn't make a difference. Just trust me on that. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to wet that one that much. Just slightly dampen it, and you're going to see that because I'm holding it out, that's dry right there, does the same thing. It's wet up here, but dry on the bottom. It's still going to do that because there's strength in numbers, and there's strength in those little hairs that you've just cut at an ever so slight angle. This is called precision hair cutting. So be precise about what you're doing. Now, the one thing about it, though, looks a little softer, doesn't it? Instead of such a hard line that we had before. And I think I'm a little longer on this side. Let me look. Nope, we're even, actually. Okay, just that corner up front. And may as well flip that up, huh? Get to the rest of it. Okay. But do you see where it's not a hard line? It did soften it a bit, though. So is it wrong? No, not if that's what you want. But with fine hair, yes. Because with fine hair, you're going to create the movement, but you're not going to get the volume. Maybe only on the top would you flip it out. Miss those. But on the bottom, then you would hold it straight down to, or at least at the nape line, bless you, to create that look. Now, there's something there. I want to show you something again. We're still talking horizontal and vertical. Now I'm going to do a 180 on her. On one side, I'm going to cut it vertically. You're going to see a lot of movement. On the other side, I'm going to cut it horizontally. Now we're going to talk about the different parts of the head as I do it. All right? So I'm going to subsection it only to the parietal line. Only to the parietal line. So that parietal line now is my guide. I'm cutting it straight across. Now this becomes my guide for the next one. And then again, if you can't see your guide, don't cut. You've got too much hair. I'm traveling back to the vertex. So that's slightly above the parietal line. Now I am going to travel around it to follow the head form, but I'm only taking it back to the vertex. In other words, I'm staying within that parietal line, but see, all of it is vertical to the vertex. Maybe one more, I think, and that's it. All right, now, you're gonna see, as you can see, there's a little bit more, it's softer, it's starting to bubble out a little bit more movement. That's vertical on the head form to the parietal line. Now I'm gonna pick up the rest of it, take it down to the hairline. Now in the back, I don't really have much, you see that? Pretty much took care of it. In the back, now I've got a little bit more there as I travel back. I'm only going to tip of the ear. So in other words, center occipital. I'm not going below that, and I'm going to tell you the why. The why is because beyond the tip of the ear, it starts inverting down. So what you're doing is it's going to travel over that inversion. Again, it depends on what they want. Try it on a really long-haired mannequin first, and then see your results. Bring it up, and you see I'm traveling in a circular motion. I'm traveling around the head. Anyways, all right, one more. All right, now again, you see a little bit more movement. Now on this side, as I said, there's strength in numbers. We're going to do it front to back or horizontally. I am going to use the front right here as my guide. But I'm holding it straight up, and I want you to see the strength in numbers. But the one thing you're not going to see, you can see it goes back only to the vertex. Do not go beyond the vertex. All right, I'm going to get the next section, traveling back. See how that hair travels back? I'm not pulling it to the center. I'm using that guide. Again, only to the vertex. And it's horizontal. Now if you want to travel around to make it a little more clear, you can. All right, now I'm going to go beyond the parietal line this time. Down into the lower ridge. Okay, but this is what I want you to take note of. Okay, we're done there. Down tip of the ear. Tip of the ear is right there. Horizontal, bring it straight up. Nope, we don't need to. This is what I want you to see. Look at this, cups under. Client says, I want a face frame and I want it to fit under. This is how you cut it. Remember, the head is round. Your wall is the parietal line. You're not going to, in other words, travel out in this form to get that horizontal line. You're going to bring it straight up. It's a 180. I'm going to show you what happens when you do bring it out in that form and it falls down. Because the head is round, you don't see a hard line. But look at the movement between this side and the volume as opposed to not on this side. Okay, I'm going to turn it around real slow because I really want you guys to see this. Horizontal, and you can almost automatically see, and I'm going to try combing it down to get her to calm down a bit, but still you can see the broken lines. See it? Now I can take this, pump it up, it's not going to do it. I take this, pump it up, it's going to do it. The reason for that, there is a why to that. As I said, horizontally, we have all of these hairs cut the same length, falling down the same strength. This side, it's vertical. This hair's cut, falls down. This hair's cut, falls down. This hair's cut, falls down. Okay, that's almost like it's definitely a traveling guideline, but you're not going to get the strength. Now, if I take it and bring it, oh, what a beautiful straight line I got, right? Okay. And already you see it soften. Just that one bit, that one little bit, softened compared to the rest of this with all that movement. So those are the factors between that. I want you to get to know what happens when you flip it out horizontally. That's what you're going to get. All right, now, with this haircut, we're going to go one more step. I'm going to take it on the side. The parietal line is my guide. See the parietal line? Now, if you have a bob haircut, and you don't want it, they want to keep it a bob haircut, section off an inch and let it drop. Do not cut that inch or half inch right there, all the way to the crest. Do not cut that, all right? Then you have your bob all the way down. If you cut it, you're going to have a mullet because this hair is shorter and travels around. This hair lays further down, all right? So there is that. I'm going to cut it straight up still. Next section, drop that inch. There's my guide at the parietal line, taking off some length straight up. Tip of the ear only, and I'm traveling around the head form. Oh, I meant to show you guys. How do you know if you got a really good 180? Well, before I finish cutting, let me show you. Let's hope I did. Yeah, it's flat. I got one little long piece right there. That's what you're going to have. That's a flat top. See that little long piece right there too? That's for me teaching, I'm sorry. But it's pretty flat. All right, look at it this way. I needed to, oh, that's off the other side. All right, that's because I only took it to the center apex, or center occipital. All right, but see, it's pretty flat. And once you do it all the way down, yes, it's going to be very flat all over. So that's how you check it. Don't ask your client to do a handstand. I want to see if I got this right, lady. Would you mind doing a handstand for me? So anyways, we're going to travel around. Did I get it all? Yep. Now, do you see how you can't see any really broken lines? It all just kind of fits in real nice. All right? It's still a bob haircut, but it fits in. It carves in real nice. Now, if we come down to the parietal line and we do it horizontally, there's my guide underneath. You have to find your guide. If you can't see it, don't cut. There it is. But I want you to see what happens. You don't want to do it on any part of this, of the head form on this area. Not unless you elevate it up. See that line right there? And we're going to stay about a half inch away. Cut that off horizontally. But what happens, you have a hard line. And that's what they're going to see. Now, this is another thing I want you to see. We have this slight corner in the front. We know that, but it's soft. Look at the hard corner on this side from that hard line. So that's the variable that you're going to get. This is softer. This fits. All right? This, you can't see any hard lines. It just kind of flows down. This one, you can definitely see all this hair growing right there. All this hair growing right there. All right? And I'm going to take it to the back. And you want to travel around it. All right? It's even worse back here. Look at that. We have a corner that's around the crest. Look at that perfect corner. That's amazing to me. But that's where your corner is going to be, by the way, is at the crest right here. Now, it's hard for you to see it when it's full of hair. It's real easy to see it on a mannequin that is bald. Most mannequins, when you're cutting, are not bald. Okay, so do you see the variable? You can see that hard line. Now, with the uniform layer, which is what this is going to end up being, you're going to have a corner here. Now, I'm just going to do everything vertically now just because we're coming on. But when you do a uniform layer, that's the easiest way to do it. 0, mind how you pick it up. 180, follow that parietal line. Decide whether you want it to cup under or have a lot of movement. And we're just going to go ahead and do it vertically now because it's quicker. I want to clean it up. I've only got like about 3 minutes left. I don't want to wear you out on this. Please, if you have any questions, if there's anything that you need a little bit more clarification on. But do you see how it's so important to know where you're at on the head form? Even with the head that's full of hair. And you see how this is? See that corner? Look at that. Yep, it's going to be there. Where's the other corner? What hair travels? When hair travels, it becomes longer. Yes, at the nape. There will be a definite corner at the nape line. Right here. There it is. I'm sorry. Do you see it? Now, I'm using extended. I heard somebody say here a while back that when you use the extended too much, you get carpal tunnel. That's not true. As long as you're holding your shears properly, that you're holding them on the end of the fingers, you're not going to get carpal tunnel. I mean, I've been doing this for 56 years, and so far, thank God. There, look at that perfect corner. Yeah, at the nape. Now, if you did this correctly, again, I'm doing this quickly, so if you did this correctly, it should follow the head form when you pick the head up. And about the back, you don't have to worry about leaving that one spot because it's all coming to it anyways. But do you see how much softer that is? And yes, we have the corner in the front again. So pie shape it. And we want it to cup. Bring it out. There's the shortest point. Do you see it? Right there. Straight up. And it cups around the face. Real nice. All right? So this should follow the head form. And it does. See it? There's the occipital. Goes right back in there. That's flat. That's flat. And if you haven't yet, please get the book. I don't want to mess up because my husband always gets mad at me when I don't announce the book. Bring it down. Okay. Get the book. You'll love it. It's got everything. If you have any questions, I hope this answered it for you. Though that one that was asking me these questions. And if you're going to use your texture shear, always face the comb of the texture shear in the direction that you want the hair to go. So when you're going to clean it up, if you want this to go back, and always do it diagonal when you cut with the texture shear. How much time do I have, cameraman? Am I totally out of time?
A little over a minute.
A little over a minute? Okay, we're good. So I'm going to subsection it here. I want this to go back. And I'm going to take it. I'm not going to do a vertical or horizontal line because it will show diagonal. No, I want you to see how this is going to lay back. See, the comb of the shear is facing back. Diagonal. Look at that hair go back. I mean, it's going back pretty good. See it? It just lays back. Now, if I want the hair to come forward, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. Again, I'm facing them forward, right? And you're going to see 15 seconds. All right, real quick here. It won't go back. Won't go back. Won't go back. Come on, go back. Come on, go back. I needed to do it the other way. Take care, guys. Be blessed. See you again.